Well, thanks for joining us today from the Cal Power Quarter Horses Celebration of Champions. I'm Amy Wilson here at the EQN Sports Desk, and we want to continue talking about the Rayshell Ranch and Western Bloodstock World's Greatest Horseman by highlighting one of the sponsors, that is Western Bloodstock, and Jeremy Barwick is up here to talk all about it. Thanks for coming up.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, good to have you up here. Definitely a central force in the horse market, so we get to talk all things about that. But you're extremely busy. Kind of take us through what you do and the sales that you're involved in, and Gold Buckle Futurity, and just all the things.
Well, so we put on the sales for the NRCHA here at their fraternity, in October. Then we also put on all the sales for the NCHA. Then also on Triangle Horse Sales, which is up in Oklahoma City. We do 3 sales there a year. We own Valley Equine, which is, I would say, probably the largest breeding facility in this area for sure. We stand about 40 studs there. Mm-hmm. I think last year we bred nearly 6,000 mares.
Oh my gosh.
And then also we put on with Caleb Driggers, Shane Hanchy, Cole Davison, myself. We put on the Gold Buckle fraternities, which is rope horse fraternity, where we have breakaway, head and heel, and tie down, do all of the events.
Yeah, you have a lot of history in cutting horses, but you've transitioned a little bit into rope horses. Take us through that.
I started in cutting, and then I've had some cow horses that Corey Cushion has shown for me and had a lot of success. We don't have one this year. We just wasn't able to find one. Now I've got several rope horses. I'm partners with Caleb Driggers on some mares now. Shane Hanchy, he's got some tie down horses for me. So, I have a great appreciation for horses no matter what event they do.
With that being said, you can really appreciate the horses that especially we're going to see on finals night of World's Greatest Horseman. You love watching that, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I've always watched the World's Greatest, and I guess it's been about 4 years ago now I was watching the finals, and at the time Allison worked here for NRCHA, and I called her and I'm like, I want to sponsor and give you more money because at that time I think it was paying $50,000 to win. I'm like, these horses that can do 4 events in one bridle in one day, I mean, they need to win some money. It's pretty incredible to have a horse and a rider that can do all of that. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to train a cutting horse or a reining horse or a rope horse, but when that guy's got to do all 4 events, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is so impressive. So this year, $150,000 to win World's Greatest Horseman, and a big thanks to Western Bloodstock and Jeremy and everyone for helping make that possible. I know we said we weren't going to talk about specific numbers, but can you give a ballpark figure of the millions of dollars that you sell in horses a year? You have any idea?
Oh, it's going to range from 50 to 60 million.
That's incredible. And just looking at the horse market, anyone with horses, especially performance horses, knows that it seems a little bit crazy, but in a good way. What can you say about the market?
It is. The market is very strong for any kind of a horse. I mean, from a cow horse, cutting horse, to just the trail riding horse. Mm-hmm. And there's probably several factors that played a big part in that. I think Taylor Sheridan, obviously, with Yellowstone, played a big part in that with exposing the horse world to millions more people than had ever been exposed to. Yeah. I think COVID played a big role in that. People look for new hobbies, some things they could get outside and do and not be stuck indoors with a mask. So I think there's a lot of things that played a part in that. And, and then obviously in the horse world, it's all word of mouth. This guy does it, well, then his friends start doing it. And then kids, if your kids get involved in it, then the parents get involved in it. So I think there's a lot of factors, but the horse market in every industry right now is very strong.
Yeah. I also think, too, anytime I travel, it just seems that you stop for fuel and everyone wants to see your horses or ask questions about horses. I just feel like it really is a cool lifestyle to be a part of, and anytime people are exposed to it, like, they truly do love horses.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, back in the day when I was a kid, being a cowboy was cool.
Yeah.
And then there for a few years, it got to where it wasn't so cool. The telephones come out, Facebook, all that mess. And so it wasn't as cool. But now, and Yellowstone, I think, played a big part in that, of being a cowboy's cool again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we all owe a lot of credit to Taylor for that.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned all the stallions that you stand, all the mares that you're a part of. So tell us about some of your favorite bloodlines or some of your favorite horses.
I mean, obviously, Highbrow Cat, he's kind of the king. Metallic Cat, his son. I mean, that horse is sired over 50 million now, I think, or 60 million, whatever it is. But, I mean, anything that goes back to him, the Dulray line, those are show horses, and then as brood mares, I mean, those are pretty special lines, I think.
You mentioned the horses that are competing here and then being involved in cutting horses, but now rope horses. What have you seen that works the best for a rope horse, especially one like, you mentioned tie-down horses, and we know what that takes to have a great one.
That's what was real interesting. The first Gold Buckle Futurity we put on, I guess in 23, I'd obviously watched all the rodeos, but had never been to a rope horse futurity. So it was real interesting to watch and see the way those horses were bred. And there were several metallic cats, metallic rebels, dual rays. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of those competing and doing well, and out of mares that had produced a lot in the cutting and the cow horse world. So it was pretty interesting to see the way those horses cross over.
Yeah, definitely. What do you like the best? What do you think is the most important attribute for one to have?
Conformation first. It doesn't matter how a horse is bred. They've got to have the conformation to do the discipline that you're wanting to do.
Yeah. So you've done so much in your life, especially at horse sales. I grew up working at a local sale barn my dad had, and so I feel like I've been around it a little bit. But what's something that comes to mind, or just something that really stands out over the years of being involved in selling horses? Anything?
I from a kid, like I could go to a Friday night horse sale and just sit there all night. I mean, I love a horse sale. I love all the parts that go into it, from fitting the horse for the sale to consigning the horse to the sale to actual sale day. I mean, sale day to me, a live horse sale on that sale day, there's just so much excitement and adrenaline that runs through people.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, should we break the news to everyone about the podcast you were recently on?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know when it's coming out?
I think it'll be a couple months before it comes out.
Oh, lots of editing?
Probably so.
I'm just kidding.
Probably so.
Well, you can look forward to a podcast. Clinton Anderson interviewed Jeremy Barwick recently, so look forward to hearing that. But anything else you want to add about being a part of this event and what you add to the industry?
This event's it's probably my favorite. We sponsor a lot of events, but this is probably my favorite event to sponsor, just because I have a great love for horses and so much appreciation for what a horse can do and a rider can do. And for these horses to do those 4 different events, I have so much appreciation for that. So this is probably one of my favorite events there is.
Yeah, it's spectacular. Do you ever get the time to compete yourself?
Not in a long time.
You are very busy and a huge force in this entire industry, and we appreciate it so much. Thanks, Jeremy. We appreciate you coming up.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That's Jeremy Barwick with Western Bloodstock and so many other things, but we especially want to point that out. It's the Rayshell Ranch and Western Bloodstock World's Greatest Horseman. Those finals are Saturday night. We're really looking forward to that, and we'll continue our coverage here at the Cal Power Quarter Horses Celebration of Champions.